Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, we've got some birds singing outside which sound very happy. I think it's because the snow has melted and we've got back some more normal weather in the UK, i.e. rain. Anyway, today we have something I've been looking forward to seeing from ICM in the Ukraine. Our good friends have sent us the very latest new tool. It is the World War II German Army Krankenpanzerwagen. Basically the medical half-track, Hanomag half-track ambulance. So it's the SDK, I've said, 251/8 Aus A. That's a mouthful, aren't they? Anyway, let's have a look at this because I've been looking forward to seeing this, I've got to be honest, and I think that it's nice to see it with the red cross on it instead of that other cross that is usually on it that causes all the controversy. Anyway, let's read what it says on the side. So, first of all, it's kit number 35113, and it says the 251, we're going to call it the 251. The 251 semi-tracked armoured personnel carrier was the main armoured vehicle of the Wehrmacht in World War II. It was designed by Hanomag in 1938 and mass production started the following summer. The armoured personnel carriers were in service with the German army throughout the Second World War and were used in all their theatres of operations, with a total quantity of 15,252 vehicles. Oh, that's a lot, isn't it? Various series and modifications were also adopted. The first mod, the Aus A, was produced in 1939 to 1940, this one. One of the versions was the 251/8 for evacuating the wounded from the battlefield. It could carry a different number of wounded, for example, 2 lying on a stretcher and 4 sitting. The stretchers were suspended on special mounts and semicircular rails for an awning were installed on the top of the body to protect it from the rain. The equipment of the transporter also included a drinking water tank, and an additional step was installed on the rear to facilitate boarding the transport compartment, especially when you've got a stretcher, obviously. Because I mean, they would climb up or jump down previously, wouldn't they? Obviously, if you're wounded, you can't do that. Usually, armoured medical transporters were part of the Stabscompanie. Stabscompanie, okay. To distinguish them from the other vehicles, they had large signs with the medical red cross painted on their bodies. As I say, better than the usual cross they used to use. Right, well, let's have a look then, because we've got, looks like we've got it here in basically North African colours or Eastern Front colours, I would say. And that certainly seems to agree with the timeline. So as I said, it is kit 35113. There you go, North African Africa Corps. It's got the Africa Corps logo on the side, or Eastern Front, sort of 1941 style. Right then, I think that without further ado, this is something that a lot of you will enjoy seeing. Let's get straight into it without further ado. Let's see if I can open the box. It's always a challenge. Come on. Can't get the film off and anything else, the tape. It's a little bit tricky. Sometimes I can be a little bit too eager to get in. There we go. Right. Over there. Now then. Brand new tool just arrived from our friends in the Ukraine, ICM. Let's see what we've got this time. Oh, this looks good. This looks good. Oh, I'm loving it just on the first glance, to be honest. Right, okay. Krankenpanzerwagen. Let's have a look at it. So we've got the write-up. It's got ICM paint set 3003 is the recommended acrylics paint set that they have. And 3003 is basically the German AFVs, including the Marder, etc. set. So, I think there may be some decals. Indeed there are. We'll look at them straight away. I think this will get the juices flowing for you. Check this out. our German crosses and some red crosses, which are much more fashionable. There we go. So they've got a split down the front on the bonnet, obviously, because it has this bonnet that opens, two-sided bonnet access hatch for the engine. And then you can see you have got your Africa core markings here, which actually has a swastika. When you assemble it together, that becomes a swastika. Oops. We've got the registration plates there at the top left, and it all looks very nice. It's got some more registration plates for the Eastern Front option as well. So, are they both ambulances? I've just wondered about that. Yeah, they are both ambulances. Right. Okay. So that's the decals. Very nice they look as well. Let's see what the rest of it's like. Just remove our carrier film and put it there. It's damaged. Let's see what we have. Ooh, there's obviously going to be multiple versions of this. Interesting. Okay. Let's zoom you in. There we go. So we've got the quite a few that you're not going to actually use in this particular version. Interestingly, I wonder why that is. Different. It's the sides that seem to be different. Okay, it's the armour plated bit. I think the additional armour plating that goes on the side, because it's not really meant to be in the actual front line. It's meant to be evacuating them, perhaps on the second line, I would guess. So there's quite a lot of parts and weapons and things that are not included. And we of course have got some tracks, which will be interesting to see how they've done that. Looks like it's rubber band tracks, which I don't mind really. They've done it well. And here we go, straight on with the instructions. So let's have a look at what we got. So we're going to build up the hull, which is going to be, it's not a bathtub style, it's two sides and a floor. Obviously it goes to this narrower frontage where the engine compartment will be for the conventional driving wheels at the front. I'm not an expert on these half tracks. I'm just trying to remember. Does it have a drive mechanism, or is it just the front wheels that drive it? Are the tracks like slave tracks? I don't think they are. I think it has a drive system, doesn't it? We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, we've got obviously the storage compartments that go down the side being built up there, and then being inserted here. I'll zoom you back just slightly for this one. Okay. Then we've got the side panels, side walls going in both sides over there, and the back, the main bulkhead framework at the back. And then we've got the floor at the front is going to go under the engine compartment here, and you've got a sump guard going in there. Then we've got our front suspension. It's interesting, isn't it? It's the first time I've really looked at one of these, actually, if I'm honest. So it's got a leaf spring that goes transverse. Leaf spring, how very interesting. I had it in my mind it had leaf springs going in the normal direction, but it doesn't. It has one transverse leaf spring system. And then attached to that is the actual... okay, so yeah, so I was wrong. Yeah, the engine is driving the tracks, not driving the front wheels. The front wheels are, it's like a rear wheel drive in effect, isn't it? Got it. Okay, my ignorance is showing here. I've not really come face to face with any Hanomags over the years, to be honest. So we've got our steering system going in here, the track rod ends and the hubs, and then you've got your bumper system, impact protection at the front. Then we're going to build up our engine. See, I've learned something there. It's always useful to learn something. Building up the engine and gearbox, all the ancillary parts going in, exhaust manifolds, alternators, water pump, etc. All your drive belts are going in there. Twin fan system for cooling, which goes on the front. Then you bring in your manifold for your exhaust. Then you drop your engine in from the top, and then you've got the instrumentation and the dashboard going in. complete with your control levers, because I think it works a bit like a tank, doesn't it? There's a lever for each side. Then we've got what looks like our air filter going in, and then over here we've got the various bits of the cooling going in. There's actually a Schmeiser MP40 machine pistol. I'm not sure if that should be in the ambulance, but anyway. Also gas mask canister, the corrugated gas mask canister there. Then we've got our driver's seat, steering wheel, the seat going in there, and then what looks like a I'm not sure what that is actually. What's this? You've got the seating area. No, it's the water. Yes, it's the water. I need some water. It's the water tank you mentioned. Water carrying tank. So there we go. Over here then we're on to all the framework going in and the stretchers that you mentioned for carrying the wounded. Tarpaulin, blankets. That's cool. Then we've got the second seat for the co-driver. And then we've got a framework, I think, which folds up. This is the support for the stretchers. So it's a bit like their version of a KT ambulance, isn't it? In effect, this vehicle. We've got all the little bit hooks and things for holding up the supports that the side goes in. You've got a couple of holes you need to drill here. The reinforcement framework going in there, which is going to be for the roll hoop over the top that gives you the tarpaulin cover. Then we've got the little portholes going in the side. There's a bit of glass going down there, and then you've got your steering arms going in here for the steering rack. Then back to the top, you've got what is effectively the bonnet, the split hatch bonnet. And you've got these hoops here that are going to be for supporting the anti-rain cover. Again, you've got these windows going in down the side, and they've got they're like a flip down hatch, aren't they? Effectively, so you've got the framework for that going in. Quite a lot of windows. It's like a gun port, isn't it? Almost, as per quite a lot of the versions of it, actually. Gun ports. Then we have got the internal framework going in again for supporting the stretchers, and here is the stretcher. Stretcher system going in there, bringing the top down and actually installing that stretcher itself into the cabin area, or loading area I should say. Then you've got the rear doors going on which swing out. These rear doors, they swing out, don't they? And then you've got your suspension ready for the bogies, basically. They are the bogies. Then we've got our road wheels here, which are going to go in as per. Just like a normal half track, this part of it, isn't it? And then we've got our drive wheels here. Drive sprockets at the front, road wheels for steering right up front, obviously the ultimate front, and then you've got your other side with your bogies going in, torsion bars basically, drive system, and again the wheels going on, the inner wheels and then the outer wheels, road wheels, and again your drive wheel here, road wheel, steering wheel, front wheels here. And then we've got tow hook, jerry cans being built up here, and then going on the back, and then you've got this hoop system, the tarpaulin to give rain cover, and then you've got various bits of equipment on the side, tools like a track leverage tool, like undoing the tracks, like a crowbar, fire extinguisher on the side here. And then we've got a couple of external tools. We've got an external light, we've got an external couple of shovels in case they need to dig themselves out. in case they can't get traction. Headlights and the tail light. More tools at the side, pickaxe handles and pickaxes. Hatchet, mirrors, and finally the lights going in here, and that is your completed Krankenpanzerwagen. Okay, Kranken just means poorly, basically in German. So they have a Krankenhaus, which is a hospital, of course. So here you go. You've got the Africa Corps colours. Very nice too. Quite like the way they've done that actually. I think it's a lot more interesting than the grey one, to be honest, which looks a bit flat, a bit dull perhaps. Yeah, I think I'd go with the Africa Corps one. I can build that one myself. Let's have a look what the plastic's like. So, draw back. Sorry about that. I feel a bit cranking. I need a drink. It's a bit too early. A bit too early in the day for that sort of drink today, as I speak to you. Right, so we've got some clear parts. We have got a big bag of sprues, overflowing bag almost. Ooh. So let's look at these first. We've got our tracks and tyres, and it looks like they've gone for the rubber tyres again. So it'll be very interesting to see these. Let's have a look at what we got then. Let's zoom you right in. Now then, here we have got our little, because obviously they're not a very big track on the German half tracks, but that is a very nicely moulded for a rubber band style. Isn't that nice? The road pads look really well done, to be fair. I think that's one of the nicest rubber band tracks I think I've ever seen. In fact, let's see if we can get a bit closer so you can see a bit more. There we go. What do you think of that? It's nice, isn't it? Very well formed. A little teensy tiny bit of flash just between a couple of. I don't know if I can get this on camera. Let's just see if we can try. Not sure it's going to manage it actually, but take my word for it. But it's so faint you would never see it. I didn't have my 20 times zoom. You never notice that with your naked eye. Here we've got the rubber road wheels, the steering wheels, tyres at the front, I should say. In fairness, they've done this one really nicely. Yeah, it's in rubber, but it's beautifully moulded. That some really nice tread pattern on it. Isn't that nice? I like that one. That's one of the nicest rubber moulded tyres that I've seen from ICM. That's really nice. That's pretty good. So yeah, I think that's we're off to a good start here. Because the rubber band tracks could be they could be really rubbish, couldn't they? They often are, but they've done that really well, I think. So I'll pop that back in there. See what we have. Get it back in. It's not really straightforward. There we go. Go on. There we are. That's a good start. Pop that in there. We'll look at the clear parts and get that out of the way. Let's keep fingers crossed it's all going to be good. Okay. Oh, do you know what? They're really lovely actually. Look at this. Those are pretty much flawless, really, to my naked eye. Let's see if I can get the zoom to cooperate and you can see for yourself. Now then. Those are really nice. See? Yeah, those are cool. No real distortion to speak of. Very crisp actually, very nicely shaped. Very clean moulding as well. Feathering. Gorgeous. There's nothing wrong with those. There's something wrong with my zoom though. It's been very reluctant today for some reason. I think the battery must be getting flat. I think before I do any more videos after this one I might have to give it a battery change. Right, let's get that back in there. It's protected from the elements. That's really nice clear parts actually. Top notch. Top notch, top notch. Right, so that's good. So the trickiest parts have got really, really well. Now, let's have a look at the grey plastic and see what we have here. And it looks pretty sharp, I've got to say. I think you're going to like this one. Let me just see if I can bring this across a bit more. There we are. So we've got our side drive area where the bogies go, the torsion bars come out. We've got some really nice bolt heads coming out of the bottom of the floor there. And then we've got some lovely details here with the things like the drive belts for the engine and the fan belts. Look at that. That's the fan belts there, the twin fan belt. And you've got your alternator belts, etc. Some really nice details here. These are your two. This is your split bonnet for the engine. Over here you've got the two fans I mentioned. Then we have our engine, the main engine body, so to speak. Engine casing. And then we've got this rather interesting transverse leaf spring that I spoke about, which I think is very unusual. I'm trying to think of any other vehicles that have transverse leaf springs. I'm sure there probably is some, but nothing is springing to mind at the moment. Now look at all these. Various components around the engine. And obviously we've got our side plates here. Very nice. Steering rack over there. It's a nice sprue, isn't it? That? Nothing wrong with that at all. Very, very crisp. Looking good so far, but this challenge of this kit, I think they may have not really the bag right in terms of size. It seems to be a bit of a squeeze. Just about fit. Right, second one. I think we've got a duplicate here, so we'll just move one out of the way straight away. Let's have two lots, we don't have to look at it twice. Here we go then, he says. It's got itself a little bit entangled. Right, wow, what nice moulding we have here. This is absolutely brilliant. Now then, drive sprocket wheel and the road wheels. And you've got the driver's seat there, shaped driver's seat. Very, very nice. MG34 is it? MG34 over here. And then you've got your torsion bars here. The drive system. A little bit of flash there. See that? A little bit of flash. Just loose it is. Just held on by static. No other issue at all. Then you've got your idler wheels there. Sorry, actually this is the road wheel, the centre of the road wheel. And there you've got your little pillbox viewing slits. Over here you've got some more weapons. You've got the Mauser KAR carbine rifle. Just a teensy bit of flash on the back of that, but it's very tiny on that particular one. And the two seem alright. Very nice sprue. Very nice sprue. So there's two of those as I mentioned. They're identical. Then we have a lot of the fiddly detail parts here. And there's quite a lot of them. So we've got the things like the radio set here. We'll have to zoom in for this one. Steering wheel. Things like brake levers. You've got not sure what that is. It's like a trim wheel, isn't it? And then you've got your radio set there. And then we've got the framework for around the back, shaped as per the support spar, so to speak. And you've got your shovels, and you've got your hatchet and axe, and you've got lots of little parts here that all form part of the engine bay. Cooling pipes, quite a lot of small parts. That's part of the ladder, isn't it, this step system that I mentioned for rear access. Very, very nicely moulded parts there. A lot of fine parts there. Very fine. Oh, exhaust manifold there as well, isn't it? Hot running. Then we've got two big sprues. And here we've got some of the real chunky big parts in. So we've got the floor of the cab area here, complete with the front mudguards as well. Very nicely detailed here with ribbed flooring for grip. Yes, there's just a tiny touch of flash has appeared there. It's on the edge. Soon cleaned off though. And then you've got various parts of the side assembly which holds the stretchers in place, and then you've actually got your stretchers over here. Ambulance stretchers, you've got your jerry can, and you've got this is your water tank, fresh water tank. You've got a furled up stretcher here, folded up. I think that's the fire extinguisher here. And then you've got these hoops over here. These are actually hoops, it's the sprue, and then the little fin piece is the hoop that goes over the top to protect, put the tarpaulin over, protect them from the rain. And then you've got your sides here, main structure, and again there's a little bit of flash just attracting to things via static electricity only. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? Like the little water carrier and the rolled up stretcher, and then over here, no less, you've got an MP40 Schmeiser. So they're not unarmed, are they? Very nice. Okay, that just leaves one more sprue. Yeah, just a tiny hint of flash on just an odd part, not generally present at all. Like an odd part where maybe there's been a bit of static. There's quite a few little tiny flakes of it just floating about. Well, there's actually two versions. Right. This is interesting. Now this is. Now which one is which? I think. I can't remember from the instructions, but one of these you use, and obviously one of these floors you don't use. And I have a feeling that this is the one that you probably do use actually for the ambulance. And you've also got like blankets rolled up here, and then you've got the various parts of this, the sump guard there. Pieces that look like a seat here, shaped like a seat. You've got the front here with the instrumentation, dashboard, and then you've got some lovely detail here. Look at this on the top of the hull. Look at that. That is pretty nice, isn't it? Yeah, some fine detail there. Absolutely gorgeous, really. And then here, this is obviously a part you won't be using in this particular variant. That's why I had the MG34, because it would actually operate. That's the shielding, armour plate shielding around the MG34, which isn't used in this particular version, of course, because where that gunner would normally stand is where your water container is going to go for the wounded personnel. So yes, some of those parts, as per directive, will not be used. So there you have it. Very interesting, actually. Very interesting. So There's quite a lot in this kit, isn't there? Price wise, I don't actually have a price to quote to you at this moment in time, but I think it's about £34, £35 thereabouts. Don't quote me on that. But you do get quite a lot for your money. It's a proper, you know, again, another one that will make into a brilliant diorama. A bit like we had with that Goulash Canon, the German field kitchen. That's another one. Sort of from the same sort of era. And they go together extremely well, I think. Get that in there now. A little bit of a tight fit is this, a bit of a squeeze. And it says no. So no, don't want to go back in. There we go. We got it. We got it in the end. Did we? Did we or did we not? Yes, we did. Just. It is a bit of a tight on this. There's such a lot of plastic in the box. It doesn't want to go back in. Just actually want to close. Yeah. Not a loss to see why it's not closing. Anyway, we won't worry about that for now. What do we think of it then? Quite an impressive kit, to put it mildly. There are some reservations about nothing really. It's just a tiny teensy bit of flash, which didn't seem to be present on the some of the other new ones that have just come out as well. But it's got everything, hasn't it? It's got all the detail, you know, around the wheels. It's got nice tracks, even though they're rubber bands that have been beautifully figured. There's nothing not to like really. All you need is a few figures to go with that. Perhaps if you got that set that I reviewed earlier in the summer, the German medical personnel set, go perfectly with this vehicle, wouldn't it? I'm going to give it 9.5 out of 10. I think that's pretty fair really, because there's a lot there. If you like your sort of Katie ambulances, this is almost like a perfect opposing partner to it, you might say. And I don't think 9.5 out of 10 is unfair at all, because you've got some beautifully fine detail parts in there. You know, some really crisp things like the wheels, even the tyres, even though they've done them in rubber, they're really crisply. The mould on the tread was fantastic. So that's where I'm at. Hope you found that interesting to have a look at. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty more interesting items for you to see that are new coming through this Christmas and into the new year. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, don't forget to ding the notification bell and select the all option. Anyway, that's it from me for now. Thank you very much for joining me. Please look after yourselves, stay safe, stay well, stay warm. Until next time, thanks for your time. Take care and bye for now.